Hello, my name is Samantha Slavin. I am an Indiana State University nursing student in the LPN to BSN program. This is Community Health Nursing 444 presentation for hepatitis C in relation to rural community risks. According to the CDC, hepatitis C affects 3.5 million people in the world, so this is a very important subject to me. The population at risk, or PAR, being focused on in this presentation is rural community residents engaging in high-risk drug and sexual activity. In the presentation, you will be able to find links to literature that support the population at risk that I'm focusing on, as this is an ever-growing problem for rural communities. In my community, there are correctional facilities and in surrounding communities, which also increases the risk for hepatitis C. This presentation consists of an introduction, learning objectives, pretest, hepatitis C education, how the disease is spread and risk factors, steps to take for exposure, symptoms, how to protect self, post-test, and finally, conclusion. There are several learning objectives that I hope to be accomplished by the viewer with this presentation. After this presentation, I hope the viewer understands what hepatitis C is, can explain what the ways that the hepatitis C virus is spread, identify the risk factors associated with hepatitis C, demonstrate what steps to take if exposure to hepatitis C is suspected or if occurs, identify symptoms of the hepatitis C virus, and discuss strategies to protect yourself and prevent the spread of hepatitis C. So at this time, I'd like you to download the pretest and the presentation outline. The first document link you see is the pretest with a post-test and answer sheet. The second document link is the presentation outline. So go ahead and test your knowledge by taking the pretest at this time before proceeding. Remember to also take the post-test after the presentation, as this is a great way to compare your before and after knowledge of the subject. So let's begin. First off, what is hepatitis C? Hepatitis C is a virus that affects the liver, which is inflammation of the liver. It is caused by the hepatitis C virus. Hepatitis C is highly contagious. And hepatitis C is treatable. Hepatitis C can become chronic and lead to lifelong liver complications, which can include liver failure and liver cancer. So how is hepatitis C spread? Well, the virus is spread through contaminated blood from a person infected with the hepatitis C virus. The most common mode of contamination that we see is through the sharing of needles and syringes with IV drug use. What are some other ways hepatitis can be spread? Sexual contact, high-risk sexual activity, blood transfusions or organ transplants before 1992, tattoo needles and piercings that are contaminated, also sharing personal items such as razors and nail clippers. These can become contaminated with infected blood, which cannot be seen with the human eye. So there are several risk factors that greatly increase the chance of contracting hepatitis C. Some are high risk, unprotected sexual activity with multiple partners, always very important to use a condom. Healthcare workers are at a higher risk due to accidental needle sticks. IV drug users, great risk factor due to the sharing of needles. blood transfusions before 1992. This is not seen as much today due to the high testing protocol and stringent testing protocol. Another risk factor, those born to women with hepatitis C, and then tattoos. So some people may or may not show symptoms of hepatitis C. So not all persons will be symptomatic. However, some symptoms you may see include jaundice, yellow under the eyes, loss of appetite, fatigue, vomiting, nausea, fever, dark colored urine, and you may also see clay-colored stools. But remember, symptoms are not always present, and it can take anywhere from 2 weeks to up to 6 months for symptoms to appear. So what do you do if you've been exposed to hepatitis C or suspect exposure to hepatitis C? Well, it is absolutely vital to get tested. So you can call your doctor or you can contact your local health department, because remember, there is no vaccination for hepatitis C. So the doctor will draw blood to look for the hepatitis C antibodies and do a blood test called the RNA blood test. The doctor will prescribe antiviral medications, must be taken as prescribed, and then very vital to have follow-up testing to make sure that the antibodies are not still in your system. So how can you increase your protection against hepatitis C? Several ways. Practice safe sex. Very important to use a condom. Do not share needles, syringes. Never, ever recap a needle. Do not share personal items such as razors, toothbrushes, nail clippers, even blood glucose monitoring machines. And if you're going to get a tattoo or any type of piercing, do your research. Make sure the facility is a licensed facility. So where can you get more information about hepatitis C? Well, I've listed several websites to go to for information if you should have any questions or concerns. Make sure you use a reputable website, because there is a lot of misinformation out there and you want to arm yourself with the knowledge. The best way to protect yourself is knowledge. So in conclusion, hepatitis C is a highly contagious virus transmitted by infected blood or bodily fluid. The person may or may not show symptoms, very important. There are ways to reduce the risk for contracting hepatitis C. And remember, being knowledgeable is the best way to protect yourself. So also in my references, I have listed a literature review pertaining to this particular population at risk. Now, I would encourage you to go ahead and take the post-test to test your knowledge. That way you can see what you knew and what you know now. Remember, this presentation is just an overview, and I thank you.